our previous meeting due to the weather and the cold blast that we had. But with that in mind, and speaking about that cold blast, I just want to thank our city staff. They did a wonderful job during that cold freeze to make sure everything was working great. Pat, your team went out there and made sure the streets were cleared and helped with that. I know Rob and I had multiple discussions, and he was working with the police department to see what he could do for the homeless that were in the community. And we tried to address all of these situations that were brought up to us. So I really appreciate the work of the staff and making sure our community kept rolling during that cold freeze. And I want to commend them for their hard work. But with that said, I know we have a full meeting tonight, so we will get started with the meeting. It looks like we have Ray Mattson here for our invocation. Ray?
Father in heaven, we do come before you, and we are again grateful now for warmer weather after all that cold. But God, we are grateful for the city and all of those who serve our community in so many ways, and we just pray that you will continue to bless them and their work. Pray for this council that as they seek to make wise decisions, God, that you would guide them and lead them, direct their thoughts and their choices. And Father, I pray that you would just continue to bless their families as well as they give so much of their time to our community. We pray it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Bates, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:03 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Mike Bellamy.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins. Here. Kurt Crespin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Manuel Temez. Brent Bates.
Here.
Rob Evans.
Here.
Kristen Swartz. Here. Lance Clark.
Here.
Okay, we've all had an opportunity to review the minutes and the consent agenda. Were there any items that need to be separated out? I didn't see anything. Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Didn't have to vote verbally, I missed it.
We'll vote verbally on this. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, moving right along, we'll have our next item on the agenda, which is the audience participation portion. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the council here tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on. Just a reminder, the public comment portion is a great portion of the meeting where people can come in and talk to the community or to the council. So if you have questions or concerns, if you want to bring them to the council, that's a perfect opportunity for you to do so in the future, as well as to attend some of our other meetings like our monthly Common Grounds meeting that we have at 7 a.m. the first Wednesday of each month, or with Rob every Wednesday. He has his coffee with Rob. So please take an opportunity to utilize those if you get a chance. So we'll move on to the next item, which is our city treasurer's report. Kristen?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to give a grants update tonight, and in your packets, I had a vision and a goal for a while now, but now that I have a grant assistant, I had her start working on, as we close out grants, we're going to supply a report like you have attached, which will give pictures if they're available. It'll give the grant information, what was spent, vendors that were paid. So I thought it's something you could look at, and if you have any suggestions of something you'd rather see, we're going to make a notebook by year with these in them, so we'll have all the completed projects in one nice little package. So this would be easier for me to present to you and gives a summary so that you'll know as we close out these grants.
That's great. I know I've Personally, I've been asked quite a few times, why don't the city apply for grants? Why don't we get grant funding?
Right.
And this report helps to show that last
Okay.
year we had $8 million in grant funding.
Right, so this report was something different. This was something that, I have all the active grants that we had in '23, and that some of them have now been completed. So yes, so there was $8 million worth of active grants, and that's about to get bumped up with our new wastewater treatment plant and some other things that we're applying for. So, but this is the ones that we've either applied for, it gives the status of them. So this is yet another one, and then the ones that I was speaking of are these here, of the closed-out grants, so. But yeah, so I try to keep you updated on these once a quarter, or at least once every 6 months, and kind of let you know with this long list of where we're at. And so it gives a visual and kind of a total, which is impactful when you look at it this way, so.
And it shows that we're actually receiving quite a few funds from the state and federal and other groups. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we have any questions from the council on this one?
I do not, but just to comment, I want to thank you for the amount of information you put into this. It's helpful, and I like the way you itemized it.
You do? Okay.
Yes, thank you very
All
much.
right, so if there's any suggestions, I'm open. I just thought it was a good shot, and I have an amazing assistant that is very efficient with her time, and it's been very productive, so.
And I think
makes
it
a lot
gives any
easier.
chance for any citizen that wants to know.
Absolutely.
If there it is, right there, black and white, as to what took place and how the money was spent.
Thank you for your hard work.
You're welcome. So if there isn't, I'm open for any questions as well. That was all I had on my report for this evening.
Okay, do we have any other questions for the treasurer?
I might mention one more thing. We have an audit now scheduled. It's going to be the first couple of weeks in April. So I thought I'd give an update on that too. So it'll be about a 10-day audit.
Okay, great. Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll move on to the next item, which is the city clerk report.
Our November sales and use tax collected in December was $391,926.74, which was up 3.49% or $13,224.97 from 2022. Our year-to-date was $5,174,422.99, which was 5.43% up, or $266,407.01. One more month,
Okay,
that's all I have.
Good job, Linda.
thank you. Any questions for Linda?
I don't have any.
Anybody else? Okay. All right, we'll just keep the ball rolling. Next item is the city administrator's report.
All right. So the first thing is Coffee with Rob. I wanted to thank everybody for meeting me out there at the Circle of Knowledge and the truck stop. We got back on our roll of having some entertaining conversations, and I appreciate it. We got to address some of the good issues of the city, but it's a great time to get back together and sort of look forward to what we're doing in the city this year. And we in and out, we had 10, 12 people show up, and it was a pretty good time. So thank you very much. We're going to be going to the Hickory House and McDonald's for the next 2 Wednesdays, 7 o'clock. Show up and you can get coffee on me. The PMC Health Fair on those same days, it looks like, 24th and 31st at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So right after you come have coffee with me, you can go over there and go to the health fair. The Chamber of Commerce Banquet, Monday, January 29th at 6 p.m. at the Eagles Lodge. I guess you start at 6 is the meet and greet, 6:30 dinner, and 7 awards and banquet. And I'm sure you'll hear more about this later. The history of the Greens Jewelry, Oscar Noble, Thursday, February 1st, at 7 p.m. at the Big Timbers Transportation Museum. So our projects updates, in coordination with Kristen and a lot of, we've been heavily focused on looking forward to how we're going to handle the wastewater treatment plant. I know that our next steps of our comprehensive development plan are happening in late February to early March. We're going to have some community engagement activities. So those are the things that we're looking forward to. I know that during this weather, maintenance and getting us ready to be able to handle, we got about 6 more weeks of heavy events scheduled at the community building. And we are using that out there as a parking lot now. We've got some gravel on there and it can be used out there. So I know that that's one thing that we had fixed from the last time, so.
So we did get the gravel.
We did.
Pulled it out. Okay. Okay.
And anything else that you would like to ask or get an update or send me on some research?
So I know one of the questions I'd asked you the other day was the blue building. I know we had took down the old blue building that was at the Arby's site, and we're gonna rebuild it. We had an extension on it approved a couple of months ago. Do we have an update on when they're gonna start, or?
Like, I think, and I don't have as of today, but after the weather, we were the next project coming up. So he told us that we're next.
Just wanted to make sure we were on track, so. Council, do you have any questions for the city administrator?
Yeah, there was a question they had asked me that, I know it's been a few years ago or more, I know when they tore down Opals, but they were asking about where Arby's was gonna be, if the dirt was contaminated or something like that, or.
We've gone through that.
Yeah, and I told them, and I said, I'm not sure, I don't think it was there, but I don't know if it might have been where Opals was at, I just couldn't remember.
Well, just to reassure everybody, we've done all the phases of testing at that place. They've done some additional site characteristics to help to detect if there's possible migration from other sites, but where they're gonna put the Arby's up is not contaminated and has
okay.
been okayed.
Yeah,
So we're good.
I just told them, I'll ask and to make sure, just.
No, you can let them know that we have extensively tested this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's by the WHO,
Oh,
is where
okay.
that Arby's is going, because
Yeah.
I've been asked that too.
The Opal site actually had testing done on it as
Oh,
well. Before
Sorry, I
they
didn't
did
know that.
Well, see, I didn't know
Before they
where it
did
was
the
at. I
dirt,
told them,
so-
I'm not for sure where that testing was supposed to be at, but I had heard it. a
They
while
even
back.
left us some monitoring locations, so
Oh,
if
okay.
things start to migrate through there, that we can tell, that you
Oh,
can.
okay.
so.
Yep.
I have a question. Is there any idea about what's going on with the old Green Garden building that got refurbished? That was supposed to be another restaurant coming in there?
Do you have an update on that one? The last one is they just stopped. They had,
They were waiting on their furniture, and then when it got near the end of the year, he said he didn't want to open until after the first,
Okay,
so.
fair enough.
So it's still in the
He's
works.
still
Still in the
moving
works.
forward. I think he's still moving to Lamar, the owner is from Garden City, so.
Okay,
Still
wonderful.
coming.
All right. Any other questions?
Yes, I did have a question. I had people ask about, and you don't have to write it down because I know your guys' answer anyway, but I said I would bring it up about a homeless shelter. And I said I can bring it up and see what they say because of the cold weather and stuff.
well, as you know, we have contingency plans for small amounts, and as far as delving into obtaining a property and running it and things like that, that would take a different type of coordination with county and state and federal type stuff. So right now, we don't have plans and haven't made any type of significant inroads into that, but we have made a lot of coordination agreements, even if it's verbal, with help groups in the city. We've had a lot of donations. People have donated money to help us keep people in, and they, not only is it food and not, Red Cross came in and helped. We've got a plan to take care of our homeless during these cold weather times.
Okay. And I did talk to one gentleman who runs to help people place them and stuff. And is what it's hard for the community to understand is if he puts them in somewhere and they break that trust, they have to take them out of there and they can't go back in
That's
there.
right.
So that's something a lot of people need to understand.
I do want to say thank you for the people who donated for those last couple of weeks. So it has helped a lot, and we get these people into some warm place to be, and some shelter as quickly as possible.
Thank you.
During that cold spell, we had put out that post saying that if you know of somebody at risk, call dispatch and our officers would get in touch with them and we would try to work with them on a case-by-case basis. So we did provide some shelter for some of them. But I'd also received some calls of people that wanted to donate, and I'd give them the same process. Call dispatch and, you know, they could submit their donations that way. So I don't know if anybody did, but that's always an option. And we could set up something to help assist or pass the funds on to the Ministerial Alliance or one of the other groups that are already doing great work for us, so.
Great, great thanks to those guys.
Yes, definitely. And also, every year during Christmas and the holidays, they are out there ringing the Salvation Army bell. And that is exactly why they do it, is so that they have money for the homeless, for people that are in need or for in crisis situations. So next year, if you want to join in and help ring that bell and try to donate or get some donations, that would be greatly appreciated as well. So anyhow, with that said, do you have anything else?
Oh, thank you very much.
Any other questions for the administrator?
I don't have any.
All right, we will keep moving on then. Next item on the agenda is a presentation by the Chamber of Commerce. I had reached out to Melanie to ask her if she would attend tonight and give us kind of a quick update on what's happening at the council or at the Chamber of Commerce. Melanie, would you like to come up? One of the reasons was just trying to build that gap. I know in the past we used to do this more frequently, but it's been a while since the Chamber has come in and talked to us.
Hi, good evening all. I'm just coming in here to let you guys know what all we have going on. Next Monday at 6 p.m., you all are invited to come to the annual banquet. And like Rob said, 6 is the meet and greet, 6:30 is the meal, and then 7 is the awards presentation. After that, I wanted to let you guys know that we are bringing in a new event. We're going to try and bring in Cinco de Mayo, and that's going to be the first thing on our agenda. And after that will be Lamar Days, and then our Glow Golf and Oktoberfest. Those are mainly our big ones. So we would really like to see you guys there supporting, maybe helping out, and that's about it.
Okay. On the Cinco de Mayo, I know that's coming up pretty quickly.
Yes, sir.
It'll be here very
Yes, sir.
quick. So I don't know if you're planning on having it at the chamber or if you're having it someplace else.
Probably the Enchanted Forest again.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll probably need to get started on all of that
Absolutely.
stuff right away. The sooner the
Absolutely.
better.
We've got the committee started and everything, so,
If you're going to need licensing or
Yes.
permitting.
yeah. So be ready, Linda.
Okay. I know one of the things, I would like to do this more often as far as just getting an update, what's happening with the chamber and how things are going. But one of the comments that I've received a lot is, what are we doing for our community businesses? And as a Chamber of Commerce, you kind of represent those businesses as well. So that's why I wanted to really bring you in and get that conversation going and see if we could do updates more frequently on what your businesses are needing and what we could do to help.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have a lot of different programs that we've developed, like our facade programs and our ready for rent and rehab programs. But, having the feedback from the chamber and local businesses would really help to get more information from them. So if you have suggestions, recommendations that we need to look at, that would be very helpful.
That would be great, yeah. We'll stay on top of that.
Okay. Does council have any questions for Melanie?
I don't have any.
No.
Just a request. More glow in the golf.
Oh, okay. We'll try that one this year.
Golfing at night.
Good, good. Yeah, that's a huge success. Everybody seems to really like that one.
I do enjoy it.
And I thought Oktoberfest went amazing this year. Good turnout.
Do you have a question or?
I just wanted to point out that Melanie is in charge of the speaker system. I mean, she's in charge of the music that's on the speaker system, and I really thank her for her diligent work on trying to regulate those volumes
Correct.
downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the music downtown on Main Street, okay.
Because we got, how many more? How many more speakers? Four more speakers. So right before Christmas.
Yep.
So it was really good. It was nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of people that come into the Welcome Center they have a lot of input. And so Leslie brings that over to me, and lets me know that they really like hearing that music. That music really makes a difference to them. Yeah, so, and no requests, please.
Do you just do like a variety of?
I do a variety, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Coffee shop, I don't know, country, I have it all a mix. So there should not be a complaint in there. Well, there probably will be.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming tonight, and I appreciate you giving us an update.
Thank you for having us, because we do want to bridge that gap. We do really want to work stronger and harder together. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Sounds good. Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda is to schedule a public hearing for the new lodging and entertainment liquor license for Lamar Inc., DBA The Lamar. This was initiated by Linda. Would you like to speak on that?
Sure. So Lamar Inc., DBA The Lamar, located at 219 South Main Street, has submitted application for a new lodging and entertainment liquor license to sell malt, vinous, and spirituous alcohol for on-premise consumption. They submitted all required paperwork on January 9th, 2024. City of Lamar passed an ordinance in November, ordinance 1269 regarding the 500-foot distance from a school to allow for the possible approval of a new liquor license. So at the time we did this, we had another application that was for the Lamar Theater under a different name. They had pulled that application as of, I believe that January 8th.
January the 8th, yes.
And they did submit new application with all the correct information because they lost a partner. So what I'm requesting at this time is to set a public hearing for the application of the new lodging and entertainment liquor license on February 12th. And have the city staff post, and I will have it published in the newspaper by February 1st.
So if the council's good with it, we would just need a motion to set the hearing date for February the 12th.
So moved. Second that?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to schedule the public hearing for February the 12th, 2024. Are there any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Vote your button on this one.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. All right, moving right along. Agenda item number 3 is motion to ratify council approval to accept the Animal Assistance Foundation grant and authorize the mayor to sign the grant agreement. This was also initiated by Clerk Williams, but
Well, it was originally initiated by Chief Miller and Shelter Manager Robert Crum.
Yep.
This was one that came in late in December. We had a 3-day time frame to get it approved. And I did a phone poll, which the phone poll is attached. Everybody approved the acceptance of the grant. And I'm just asking for ratification of the phone poll.
okay. And this was, we've already accepted the grant funding, and that's what the purpose of the phone poll was, to do so. Any questions from the council?
I don't have any.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to ratify the phone call and approve the mayor to sign the acceptance of the grant.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, agenda item number 4, motion to ratify council approval of ACA reporting agreement for the 2023 1095s with Clifton Larson Allen LLP. This one was Kristen, though. It says initiated by the clerk, but I'll let Kristen speak on this one.
Okay, this was just our annual contract that we have with Clifton Larson to prepare, they help me prepare the 1095s, get them correct, and then they submit them to the IRS for for us on our behalf in the correct format. So we do this annually with them because they are tied in with our ADG software.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
And I've reviewed it. I have no issues with it.
Okay. So we've had this reviewed by the attorney already. This is a company we've worked with before in the past, so no changes.
And Linda did a phone poll, and you guys all voted, so we're just ratifying that motion, is what we're doing.
Okay. What's the council's pleasure?
Well, since we've already done it by phone, I approve the motion to ratify the agreement.
We have a motion to approve.
Yes, sir.
Second? Do we have a second?
I will. Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the ratification of this agreement. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, change it up a little bit. The next item on the agenda is award of bid 43015, aggregate materials and snow removal, and we have Pat Mason here tonight to talk about this.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening, Pat.
So on January 3rd, we had our bid opening for asphalt, concrete, and road-based materials. We received one bid only, and that was from All Right Paving and Ready Mix. I did actually get a phone call from the manager of Brannan Aggregate, said that they unfortunately missed the bid, didn't get their bid turned in time, but they would like for council to consider the fact they basically would honor last year's bid if council would allow it. So, All Right bid on concrete, asphalt, and flow fill. Brannan didn't compete on any of those. They bid more or less on all the road-based materials, so there wouldn't be any competition between the two of them. And they also sent a letter, which I forwarded to Kristen in writing, saying that they were willing to honor that 2023 bid price for their materials that they'd submitted, so.
These other two didn't bid for the road base?
We
No,
only had one submit an official bid, which was All Right, and there was no competing bids with the two. They always do separate. I mean, one will bid part of the bid and one will bid the other. There's no competing amounts.
So,
Okay.
one thing All Right did do, and they've been doing this the past few years, but if they get the concrete and the asphalt together, then they lower the price of asphalt. So in this case, they've got it, so they don't lower the price of asphalt, would go down to $105 per ton. And I talked to them late last year about the possibility, some things we could do, and maybe get the price of asphalt down a little bit. So they'd suggested that they know we're milling our streets, and so they're willing to purchase those millings or credit our account $10 per every ton that we wanted to take back out to them, and of course, they recycle it. But that would take the price of asphalt then down to $95 per ton, which would help considerably.
And Pat's done a really good job of working with them. The cost, a couple of years in a row, they bid it and then they raised the cost mid-year. And so Pat's done a lot of conversation with the owners, and he actually had them come down and visit with him. And so we feel like they really are trying to work with us and get us their best price.
Yeah, just a question on the millings. Is that an appropriate price for the tons? $10 per ton to give it back to them?
I think it is, because a lot of this, they're going to have to process it. I mean, we take it ourselves and we'll run it through what I call a grizzly, but we process it to a finer material. The stuff that I would take them would be unprocessed, so they'd have to grind it or run it through a grizzly as well. So they're going to have to put some work in it to reuse it, because there's going to be bigger chunks that come through the machine. But the stuff, I wouldn't want to sell it all to them, because we'd still want to use some for alleys or parking lots or whatever. But the stuff we're using, we're actually running it through and kind of processing it somewhat, so it's a finer material, so.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Roughly how many tons would you say we end up purchasing annually? About?
Probably I'd say between 3,000 and 4,000 tons,
Okay.
like in that neighborhood, so.
So that would save us quite a bit to at least knock off $10 a ton up to whatever we send back to them. Okay.
I don't see the bid in here to approve the second part of that, the other company you was talking about that's gonna do the,
The price was on in there, 2023.
Right.
We didn't get the letter in there.
Yeah, I have it, I do have a copy, I have a copy of it here if you see.
so we wanna
I think
approve
that-
that on here too?
Well, we want to approve the bid, and that was to All Right to do the asphalt and concrete.
Okay.
And then we would like you to consider the offer from Brennan, since they didn't get theirs turned in time. It isn't competing anything that A1, or that they do here. It's just, it's the other.
Road base material.
Yeah, the road base. And they would be willing to give us a deal for the year, and do it at the 2023 price.
I've got a question for Pat. Pat, how is this, will this benefit you in the long run in 2024?
I think it will because they're holding their price, basically. They didn't raise anything, so.
And we advertised it, we had no other bids for it, nobody else bid it. So this would be, would be in our best interest to lock that price in for the year, and that's what we're asking.
How soon would you need that material?
Probably within the next month, within the next 30 days.
And we have a letter, I just didn't,
I just wondered about, and maybe that's what you were thinking, is sending it back out to bid for just that portion of it or something.
Well, if it's been out to bid and we didn't get
Nobody
anything, I
bid
don't
on
know if we
Right.
have
Didn't get
to.
anything.
Is that going to create any problems for us in the
no,
future?
because
Leland?
because I already sent it out for bid and we didn't get any.
But
So what we usually do then is go try to find our best price or do whatever we have to do to make it work once we go out for bid.
I guess I was just wondering about having it put on for the next council meeting with the information I have and some type of documentation saying that they're going to honor that for 2023.
Because right now it's verbal and there's nothing in the packet,
Right,
so we're kind of,
You'd do it.
yeah, I would prefer to, it's just, and that's where I'm at, is it's like, how do we do that? And we don't even have it in the packet or anything published, and
I hear you.
No,
We
that's
should
good.
be-
We can just bring the letter back with a different commentary and see if we can lock that price in.
because we're kind of doing a special thing where we went out of bid since they missed it, but since we didn't have any other bidders, so it's kind of an exception, but I would think if we brought it back at the next meeting for that portion of it, so we could do the approval of the bids that we have in front of us tonight, and this would be for the items that are on that were bid upon.
For All Right Paving and Ready Mix.
Yes, for the concrete and the asphalt.
Would that work?
And Pat, do we do a contract with them or we just rely on that bid that they submit?
Well, so we would rely, but council approved this bid last year. So I mean, this bid was
No, I
approved.
mean for All Right. I was just talking.
For All Right, we just go off the bid price, basically. It's this piece of paper saying this is what their bid is.
And I don't know if I saw it. I was trying to look on there to see if it included the $10 per ton that we get back to them.
They did put a clause at the back of it. I think
It's
that's
at
on
the
the last
very,
page.
I'll show you where it's at. It's,
Yeah, I see it here. Vermont Paving and Ready Mix.
right here on the very last page.
And they were that number, $10 per ton.
So the last two pages are those two agreements that he's talking about. They put Fremont Paving, Ready Mix will
Okay.
purchase credit all asphalt millings delivered at our plant, $10 per ton, and gives the address. And then the very last page says if both concrete prices are accepted, your HMA price will be $105 per ton.
I am on
Okay.
226.
127 and 126.
Okay. All right, council, what would you like to do then? Do you want to approve this for what we have in front of us? And then have him bring back the other at the next meeting?
I'm fine with that.
Will that work for you,
Yeah, that'll work.
Kristen?
Yes, no, that's perfect. We'll get you the letter. I apologize. I didn't realize.
Plans.
So you're not gonna need road base before the next meeting?
I think we'll be okay before the next meeting.
As long as it doesn't snow.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion then? Going once,
I would make the motion, but I can't find it to make the motion.
Well, that's what I was
We would
looking
need
for.
a motion to award low bid as recommended by staff for
All right.
All Right and Ready Mix bid, as well as, no, that one's different, the
No.
credit. So it's just for All Right Paving and Ready Mix,
I'll move to vote for All Right Ready Mix to
the current bid.
current bid.
And that included those,
Lost it.
the $10 and the 105. It was what they submitted.
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, start with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Who are you missing? Jerry?
Brent.
Brent?
I think my battery's dying.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, thank you very much, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Next item is to award bid 43-016 for annual T-shirt bid. This is, Kristen, would you like to talk about this one?
Absolutely. So the City of Lamar solicited proposals for the 2024 annual T-shirt bid. This included all T-shirts for the leagues and programs, and also all T-shirts, shirts, and hats for the City of Lamar departments. Bid packets were mailed to all printing businesses in our area, and the request for proposal was advertised in the local paper on December 7th, 2023. 2 proposals were received and accepted by the city treasurer by 5 o'clock on December 19th. The bid opening was held on December 20th. The leagues and programs coordinator reviewed the bids, and we recommend that you award the 2024 annual T-shirt bid to Printed Imagination that quoted the lowest overall cost.
Okay. Council, do you have any questions here? Just reviewing a couple of items that we had for questions, but I think they answered them, or got the answer earlier.
I don't have any questions.
Okay,
I make a recommendation to award the bid to Printed Imaginations.
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second to award the bid to Printed Imagination. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Agenda item number 7 is the agreement for reimbursement of education training. This is initiated by Chief Kyle Miller. Kyle, would you like to speak on this?
Sure, good evening. Several years ago, we started doing contracts with potential officers we're sending to the academy. This is the same contract with Ezekiel Hernandez. We don't know the exact cost at this point of what that would be. One thing that is probably different on you guys is the date we entered into the agreement. I think it has the January 8th meeting. The official copy has January 22nd that I got to Linda. But that's the only change, and Lance has reviewed this and he was okay with it.
Okay. Council? Open it up for discussion?
I've got a question. Is he in school now, the
Yes.
academy now?
We were gonna have it done, but we got our council meeting snowed out. So yes, he started January 15th, he started the academy.
Well, when do you project for him to start?
Well, he'll get out in April, and we have a 3.5-month FTO program. So should be on his own August-ish. We got him on board a little bit early, and got some of that FTO training done before he went to the academy. So hopefully, end of July, he'll be ready to go on his own.
Oh, great, thank you.
So has he had to pay out of pocket for anything that we should have been paying for?
No. We are paying for his college,
Okay,
and then if he does not complete his 2 years, that's where he reimburses us.
okay.
Oops. Okay. Any other questions?
Ezekiel's a former Marine, isn't he?
Yeah, he just got out in December.
That's what I
There's
thought.
no former.
My apologies.
Thank you.
Saw the heat, man.
I deserve that.
Okay, with that in mind, do we have a motion to approve the agreement and allow the mayor to sign?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agreement and allow the mayor to sign. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
And while Kyle's still up there, we're going to talk about the Colorado Pet Overpopulation Fund grant.
So this is a grant we've been applying for 10, 12 years now, I believe. This helps us spay and neuter any dogs that leave our shelter. Prior to them being adopted to another home, they have to be spayed or neutered by PACFA rules. So this year, we're asking for $8,000 for spay and neuter, $2,000 for veterinary care, and $1,000 for the microchipping. So we're requesting $11,000 total through this grant, and this is just the application, and there is no match.
So you're just looking for approval to apply for the grant.
Correct.
Is this microchipping a new thing now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody asked for it.
That was last year.
I think somebody asked for it last year, if I
Thank you.
remember right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I make a motion to approve the, to apply for the grant?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to apply for the grant. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Okay, next item is a little housekeeping. This is the designation of places for posting notices of meetings at the Lamar, for the Lamar City Council. Rob, do you want to speak on that?
Well, it's an open meetings law requirement that we do this every year, so I'm just reposting the places and locations that we will make our notifications.
And of course, as always, if you would like to request to have the city council agendas emailed to you, you could submit that request
That's correct.
through your office as well. I noticed there's a few individuals on here.
Electrons are really cheap.
Yep. Okay, council? Do we have a motion to approve the list?
So move.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to designate the places where the notice of meetings will be. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Next item is it's another housekeeping, designation of representative to the county health pool.
So the county health will ask for us to appoint a rep, a point of contact to notify when they send monthly invoices and any general correspondence that they're having. So we wanted to renominate Margaret.
Margaret's our HR director, so this helps, or HR manager. So this fits right into her wheelhouse. She was it previously, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to designate Margaret Saldana.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item is a letter of support for the Longhorn Extension. This is initiated by Anne Marie Crampton, requesting a letter of support. Would you like to speak on that?
Yes, the county commissioners received a request from one of the energy companies to help maybe encourage the Colorado PUC, Public Utilities Commission, to make sure that they approve the Longhorn extension part of the new transmission lines. They've approved through the May Valley Station substation, but if you look at the map that I included in here, you'll notice that a great deal of Prowers County and some of Baca County needs to be in that Longhorn extension. So both Prowers Economic Prosperity and the city of Lamar have been writing their letters and encouraging the PUC to consider Southeast Colorado.
So we're just needing a approval for the council to allow the mayor to sign this letter of support on behalf of the city council.
I make a motion to allow the mayor to sign this letter of support.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
And it is an important project. It'll be a big help for our community, having the other workers there as well, so. Okay, next item is an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission. This is brought in by Stephanie Strube. Stephanie?
Good evening. So Tim Corkamp had a 5-year term with the Planning and Zoning Commission, and it expires on February 1st of 2024. He has resubmitted his application to stay on the board. Planning and Zoning met, and they sent a letter of recommendation for council to reappoint Tim Corkamp to another term that would expire on February 1st of 2029.
He's been on there for quite a few years, so.
He has.
It's very nice of him to get back on, or to commit one more term. Council, what's your pleasure?
I make a motion to appoint Tim Corkamp to the Planning and Zoning Board.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you very much. Next item is an ordinance of the City of Lamar, Colorado, stating the intent of the City of Lamar annexation of the property known as Lot 2 of the amended plat of Misty Hill Estates, part of the east half of the southwest quarter of Section 8 here in Lamar, Colorado. Of course, each ordinance that is submitted needs to be read on the first and second reading. So we do have the ordinance here tonight to read before we can approve it. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So who would like to read that? I guess I can zoom through it real quick. Are you good with that? Or did you want to read it?
Whatever you would prefer.
I'll go ahead. All right, this is an ordinance of the City of Lamar, Colorado, annexing property known as Lot 2 of the amended plat of Misty Hills Estates, part of the east half of the southwest quarter of Section 8. Whereas completed by the annexation petitions were filed with the City of Lamar, Colorado on 4th day of October 2023 by Jake Speck, representing Lamar Community College, who is or are the sole owners of the property owners, that consent of this annexation and the area proposed to be annexed is not solely a public street or right-of-way. And whereas the City Council has previously adopted Resolution 23-12-04, initiating annexations proceedings for the property known as 3103 Memorial Drive, Lamar, Colorado, and more specifically described as Lot 2 of the amended plat of the Misty Hills Estates, part of the east half of the southwest quarter of Section 8, and finding substantial compliance with the provisions of the Municipal Annexation Act 31-12-101 et sec. Of the Colorado Revised Statutes, determining that the area is eligible for annexation and is in substantial compliance with the said statutes. And whereas the City Council does hereby find and determine that the provisions of the Lamar Municipal Code, Part 2, Chapter 2, Article 2, annexation procedures have been compiled and it is in the best interest of the city to annex said area of the city. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Lamar, Section 1, that property described as Lot 2 of the amended plat as Misty Hills Estates, part of the east half of the southwest quarter of the Section 8, be and hereby is annexed to the City of Lamar and made part of the said city, and more specifically described as Lot 2 of the amended plat of Misty Hills Estates, being a part of the east half, one half of the southwest quarter, SW quarter, Section 8, Township 23, Range 46, west of the 6th Principal Meridian, according to the recorded plat at reception number 486146, together with that portion of the east half of Memorial Drive lying west of the adjacent to said Lot 2, County of Prowers, State of Colorado. Section 2, that the property is hereby zoned as R1 Residential District. Section 3, that the city hereby consents pursuant to Section 37-45-136, subsection 3.6, Colorado Revised Statutes to the inclusion of said property into the Southeastern Water Conservancy. Conservancy, shouldn't say that. Section 4, the city clerk of the city of Lamar is hereby directed upon final passage and approval of this ordinance to keep on file in her office a map or plat of the annexed territory, and to file 2 copies of said map or plat and 2 certified copies of said ordinance with the Prowers County Clerk and Recorder of Prowers County, Colorado. 1 copy of the ordinance and the map to be retained by the clerk and recorder, and the other copy of the ordinance and map to be e-filed with the Division of Local Governments and the Department of Local Affairs. So we just need an approve or a motion to approve on the first reading.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve it on the first reading. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign,
Unanimous in favor of?
and thank you. Now we have, our city's growing with new annexation.
That's right.
All right, one item that I forgot at the beginning of the meeting was our reports and correspondence. I kind of put that off to the end. I don't think we have very many reports, but we do have one that wanted to talk about. Before we do, Joe, do you have anything to report?
The golf board hasn't been doing much because of the cold weather. It's too cold for anything out there. And the planning and zoning did have their meeting, and we just went through everything that we went through on the meeting and
Okay.
approved.
Great.
So other than that, I have nothing else.
Jerry, do you have anything? David?
No.
I do, LPI had its annual meeting with DOLA today, and since the third Monday fell on a bank holiday, I was not able to be at 2 places at one time, so I was not able to attend that. Really good meeting with DOLA for LPI, Lamar Partnership Inc., the Main Street program. We are going to be scheduling our strategic planning meeting with DOLA in the next week or so, like getting it scheduled. So big things ahead. We're starting to look at the next 5 years. Our current DOLA money has to be spent by June 2025, and then we will be receiving more grant money for the following 5 years, so.
Great, good to hear. I really don't have anything myself, so we'll turn it over to Mike.
Yeah, I don't have any correspondences. I do have one matter I need to discuss that after this evening's executive session, I will no longer be a city council member for Ward 3 in the city of Lamar, Colorado. I have taken on a position being employed with the city, and our bylaws state that I will not be able to be employed with the city of Lamar and be on council. So I'd just like to thank everybody who has supported me and who has backed me, and all those people who have called me raising Cain even. It's made me a little bit sharper and a little more prepared for the position that I'm going to go into. And thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Rob, I'm sure you'll start the work on putting it out for,
That's correct. We will, now that he's made this public announcement. It'll be effective February 4th. So he'll be working for the city, and I'm looking forward to working with him, and I'm going to use his skills. I know that we're going to be a good team.
so we'll publish the opening for the city council to do, basically what we're going to be doing is putting it out for everybody to apply. The council will go through and meet with them and make a decision so that we can appoint somebody into that position. So if you're in City Council Ward 3, and you're interested in being the city, if you're in the city under Ward 3 and would like to be on the city council, you can apply and keep an eye out for that information. All right, so the next item on the agenda is an executive session for discussion of personnel matters under Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 246402, subsection 4, subsection F. This is for the annual evaluations for the city administrator, the city clerk, and the treasurer. There will be no decisions coming out of this executive session, so we will immediately adjourn. No need to wait around. Do we have a motion to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into executive session. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
So we'll now move into executive session. Our next city council meeting will be on Monday, February the 12th, 2024 at 7 PM. We hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, feel free to call city administrator. Thank you
Yes, sir.
very much. And thank you for joining us.
All right. So you guys want to do one at a